There we go. Yeah, I hear you.
All right, everybody, we are live
He,
on YouTube.
he just said that he wasn't planning on
Okay, that's okay. I
it.
just
Okay.
wanted to make sure if we were supposed to be waiting for him or
Right.
not.
What happened? What happened to my invite, Andrea? Do you know? Did I do something wrong or?
You didn't actually by accident. The email was sent a Teams, and the other one was sent with a Zoom.
Uh,
And so, with that being said, you are in Teams and not.
yes. All right.
Can you guys hear me and see me?
Yep.
Okay, my Zoom closed for whatever reason. Um, can you let me know what you see on your screen?
You.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see what this will work then.
Uh,
Did you just see the administrative adjustment?
yep.
PowerPoint, Pat.
Okay. Hold on, just need one more thing. And Mark, if you'd like to get started, you are.
Second. Just pulling some things up. All right, sorry everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm going to open up the administrative adjustment hearing for case 2402, 288 East Main Street. This is an application by Matthew Mathias from BPR LLC, representing the client. I'm sorry. Representing the client, Jordan Knox, the property owner, requesting approval of an administrative adjustment for 288 East Main Street to zoning ordinance section 164-115 D3 to allow for relief of 5 feet from the required 25 feet drive aisle width in the parking lot. Administrative adjustment is associated with site development plan S220034 to construct a 4-unit multiple family dwelling. And before I start, Randy and Matt, are both of you going to be providing testimony today?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
So with that, Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give in this administrative adjustment case action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you. That, Andrea, do you want to?
Sure. On March 21st, 2024, an application was submitted to the Department of Community Planning and Development for administrative adjustment at 288 East Main Street. Property is zoned downtown business zone, and the property owner is Jordan Knox. Property is within the historic district, and the property was previously the location of the Christian Yingling House. The house has since been demolished, but the property owner has been going through a process with the Historic District Commission to provide a historical structural report. Property is currently vacant. Carroll County Permit C2 230874 for a 2-story shell building for a 2-bedroom multi-family dwelling unit or apartment building at 288 East Main was submitted to Carroll County Bureau of Permits and Inspections on May 12th of 2023. And then the permits were submitted for each of the 4 units on June 22nd, 2023. City of Westminster received site plan S220034 for the development on August 15 for Knox Apartments located at 288 East Main. According to the zoning code, single family attached dwellings and multiple family dwellings of 4 or fewer dwellings is allowed in the DB zone. For this hearing today, the property was posted with notice, and a letter went out to all adjoining property owners, letting them know the date and the time of their meeting today. Pursuant to the Maryland Annotated Code, the land use article, the planning director is authorized to grant administrative adjustments. In July of 2003, our mayor and common council adopted a resolution about administrative adjustments, stating that an applicant should understand that an administrative adjustment is an exception to the rule and not a matter of right. An applicant bears the burden of persuasion and proof to justify granting of such administrative adjustment. The proposal today, just like Mr. Depot, you had said that it is a request for a relief of 5 feet from the required 25-foot drive aisle. Due to the size constraint of the property and the required preservation, there is a outbuilding that is on the property that is going to be preserved. It's difficult. The applicant says that it is difficult to meet the 25-foot drive aisle requirement according to the zoning ordinance. The applicant is seeking the administrative adjustment to reduce that requirement to 20 feet. The applicant has submitted the required water and sewer allocation application for the 4 apartments. The applicant has provided an AASHTO turning templates, which I have also provided with the report, as well as I have it as part of the presentation today if there's any particular piece that you want to look at more specifically. And they believe that it demonstrates that all appropriate vehicular circulation can be achieved with the reduced drive aisle. In your report, we talk about the different factors that need to be considered, but I'm here today to talk about the findings of fact and the conclusion of law. Staff recommends that the director consider the following as findings of fact and conclusion of law. The property is within the Westminster Historic District and will be the location of the first fully redeveloped residential building on Main Street. It is not unusual for properties in the historic downtown to provide required on-site parking spaces, requiring a request to reduce parking standards. The applicant has provided that AASHTO template, turning template, showing that they feel that all the appropriate vehicular circulation can be achieved, even if you do reduce those drive aisle widths. And then the authorizing of this administrative adjustment will not be a substantial detriment to the adjacent property owners and will not materially impair the purpose of this chapter or any of the public interest. Staff recommends the approval of the proposed administrative adjustment. And we do have I did just kind of put in a small thing of the site plan. Here are the apartment building, and here's the parking lot that we're talking about. And then I have each of the 3 pages of the turning template, if there's anything specifically that you want to talk about for this. And then I conclude my report.
Thank you. I don't think I have any questions of you. So let's move to Mr. Matthias, if he has any comments.
Well, I tell you, Andre, you covered it pretty well. It, it's a small site, basically. And to be able to address the stormwater and meet all the buffer requirements with the landscaping manual, as well as maintain adequate circulation for the parking. It proved to be quite a task, but I think what we're showing works pretty well for the intended purpose.
The
I'm
so
sorry.
so the code requires 25 feet. And I've seen other codes that allow it to get down to 24 feet, maybe down to 22 feet. This is 20 feet, and I think you used the template from the Ford Taurus. So the concern, what if a
Escape.
pickup truck or a large
Or
vehicle?
escape SUV, yes.
Okay. And then I think it was what, 15 feet?
Yeah, the overlap all length is 14.5 feet. The wheelbase is 8.59 or 8.5 feet. So I tried to pick a pretty average vehicle. I mean, I didn't pick, a F-250 or some big super duty truck, and I didn't pick a compact car either. I tried to pick something middle of the road there. And I think that's a pretty good representation of the average car that's going to be used there.
How tall is that retaining wall?
Can we flip to that page? Yeah, I think it's only 2 or 3 or 4.
It's just under 3 feet. We don't hit 3 feet.
Do you want to know how high it sticks up past the pavement?
Yeah, I guess it's really, so, I mean, it sounds like a car backing out and kind of have that one vehicle in one of the templates. Looks like it's tapping or touching the wall. So that,
Right. I mean, I could have erased it and redid it so I didn't hit it. I mean, it was just a matter of just barely touching it. I would have done it over. I wouldn't have changed my path any really if I didn't hit back up into the wall. But I can certainly rerun that if you think that needs to be done.
I guess I was just
There's
more.
probably going to be a rail on there, even if we don't bring it up past the pavement high enough. We ought to have some kind of railing or something to kind of delineate that wall out a little better. So there will be something interfering. Yeah, that it can't back no matter what.
Okay. And then I guess the other question is, we have 11 feet on the, I guess, the south side of the property, north on this picture. Why not just push the parking spaces closer to the property line to get the 24 feet?
Well, he's asking, but it basically boils down to.
Well, can you put the grading plan on there? And then
So
Yeah. put it on print or whatever, or so it comes out black and white, so I can see that and I can tell him. Do you have the grading? I guess he can't see though, can he? He can't. Do you have the grading plan, Mark? Can you see a picture of that?
Hold on 1 second. My computer is flipping out.
Okay.
Sorry, give me just 1 second.
It's like you have 2 dry wells proposed.
Right, there's no dry wells there anymore.
Okay.
You might not even have the latest then. Anyhow, do you have it on the green? Yeah, I mean, on the grading plan?
Yeah, I see that for the grading plan that from the first submission. Yeah,
The grading's really never changed. You can see how those contours are right up against the property line,
yeah,
right? I mean, they break once that pavement ends, they break down for a little shoulder, and then that drops down 2-to-1. But it's just the supporting slope on that side. It's up off the ground enough that till you get back down to existing ground, you're right against the property line. You really can't push that out anymore.
you can't provide a retaining wall on that end.
Well, okay, okay, yeah. I mean, he wasn't crazy, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we couldn't or shouldn't have done it. He wasn't real good about that one retaining wall, and then we had to add one for the stormwater basin there. So now, and then if we add another one, you can see where I'm going with that. But I mean, I guess if that has to be done, that is the answer.
Am I able to share my screen? Because what they're showing is they don't have the wall.
Oh, right, right. Can he share his screen with you?
I believe you should be able to.
Yeah.
Anything? I don't know what happened to me either now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see it.
So we can
Okay.
see it.
This area here
Yeah,
is the landscape infiltration area, and we had to provide a wall along here as well, just to get that to work.
Yeah, so if I may, just butt in the history on that we had dry wells, but we took a infiltrometer test and it didn't infiltrate. It didn't meet those. So we couldn't use those. So we went over to the county and talked to the stormwater department, and they came up with just making this landscape infiltration bigger. Of course, it had to be so big that we couldn't even have supporting slopes down in the ground. That's why there's a retaining wall there. The thing's right up against the retaining wall. Now, that's all sand or planting soil right from the retaining wall to the edge of the contour. So yeah, so we're kind of pretty stuffed there.
so but if you had to push the driveway just another foot towards that 11-foot area, how much would that significantly change the grade? I mean, you're already at a point that right past the wheel stops, you have a slope, like drops down pretty immediately. Is it
Right.
any worse if we pushed it out another foot or two without providing the retaining wall? Is that possible, or you
Well,
have
I mean, you start to get, now you're steeper than 2-to-1. I don't know how touchy that guy is next door if we were to go in on his property, but yeah, it's drawn to scale. I'm gonna say we've already pushed the limit there. I wouldn't be that upset. Those are 1-foot contours, right? So it's 2-to-1,
Yeah.
2-to-1 already. You want to go steeper. Yeah, Mark. I mean, 1.5-to-1. I've heard of that. We could probably try that and see if we get a foot or two. Another thing I'm going to say, something I always wondered about, but the pavement, the pavement is if the spaces are 18, only need to be 18 paved, and then if you have room for overhang, right, they only have to be 18. In other words, we can make up 1 foot. We can go 21 feet for the aisleway just by making the spaces 18 feet, from the edge of the aisle to the edge of the pavement.
I was gonna kind of make that point too. Even though the striping's there, it kind of gives a false impression of being able to back out. If they were 18 feet versus 19 feet, you're right. You pick up another visually and how it actually functions. I think that I agree with you there. I'm just wondering if we couldn't add in one more foot heading to that one direction to have a 10-foot versus 11-foot setback. And how impossible that would be. And then if you were to get that 1 foot, you'd have an 18-foot, 18 feet length of the parking space and a 22 feet drive aisle. And I'm only looking at 22 feet in the area that the parking's located,
Oh,
not the
yeah, it's fine.
access drive coming in. So the access drive coming in can maintain 20. But once
Okay.
we enter the parking field, if we can do 18 feet striping, 22 feet drive aisle, I think that would work. I'd be okay with that.
Okay,
We can give that a
When we
shot.
look at that,
I think we can look at that, right, and pretty much say,
Yeah, if it's only the drive aisle up near the parking, I think.
you were worried about we'd have to
Oh,
do
yeah.
the stormwater area.
yeah, I didn't want to impact that because and I don't think we need to really widen the drive aisle
Right.
in and out. I think 20 feet's fine.
You know, don't forget, Mark, when you see most of the books, even in the county, when you see this 24, 25 feet, you've got aisle or you got parking spaces on either side
Yeah,
of those. So I think you're accounting a little bit when you go that wide for maybe people from the other side getting in your way,
yeah,
while you're trying to.
I agree with you.
If
On
it
this
happens-
plan, you have that one side that has a retaining wall. It's almost like there's vehicles on the other side as you're backing out. But yeah, again, let's try to see if we can pick up a foot, get a 22-foot drive aisle, 18-foot striping. Because again, visually, I think people see that, and I think the template obviously would work just as well. I noticed you tried the template where you were trying to avoid the 19-foot stripe. But I think 18-foot would be adequate. That it would give you more ability to maneuver in and out using that template.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. If you guys think that's possible, I'd be amenable to approving that adjustment. So 2 adjustments in this case. It's the 19-foot stripe goes down to 18 feet.
Right.
And then the 25 feet goes down to 22 feet.
I will bring this up, Mark, because I think I want to do this so that we don't do all this and then find out, of course, that wheel stop now, even if it's pounded in right on the very edge of the pavement, then you'll only really have from the wheel stop back to the edge like 17 something, 17.4. Some
Yeah.
people take that 18 and be clear from the wheel stop back. You see what I mean?
Tended to go under the 18-foot just length of the parking space area. I see what you're saying, so I think that certainly helps with the 22 feet of allowing that to go from 25 to 22.
Okay.
That if you have 2 cars parked and they actually pull further up, it'll give them even, like you're saying, more space to maneuver and out, which gives me a little bit more comfort with the 22 feet as well.
Okay.
I think you're right in natural function. That you're right. I think it picks up a little bit more space as well. I guess I want to approve what we just talked about for the adjustment. But again, I think if you start looking at this and it's not possible at all, and we have to meet again. But we'll approve this as it is. If we have to have further discussions, we can have those.
Okay. Once we take a look at this and come up with a revised plan, just shoot it over to you guys. Take a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just if you think it's feasible, then just submit it back with the full next set of submission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We'll add a note of the approval of the administrative adjustment, and we'll come up with that note of what was approved.
Okay, perfect. Oh, great. Yeah,
Okay. You guys have anything else?
you're good, right?
Um,
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, then Andrew, I'm gonna approve the administrative adjustments again. From 25 feet to 22 feet and then 19 feet to 18 feet for the striping. Even though it wasn't part of the advertisement, I think it's still part of the discussion in the field of parking area. So. And my understanding, we didn't get any comments from anybody about this.
No, we did not.
Okay, then with that, I'll close the meeting, approving the administrative adjustment as I stated.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
awesome. Thank you, Mark.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Take
Have a good
care.
day.
Good seeing you. Have a good rest of your